Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Friday usual gathering. For today, I have made a little compilation of some of my favorite moments of my clients' recovery stories. So, for should any of you have never watched these stories before, I always take interviews with my recovered clients, either from coaching or my course, and I ask them just to talk about their own journey and how they recovered. And I was thinking like as a new little idea for my channel because I have like so many of these stories already to kind of go through them again for my own enjoyment, but also to, I guess, like take out some clips or videos of the interviews that I really, really value and I think is a lot of wisdom in them. So that's what I did today. I took this morning after my long run to like enjoy watching my recovery stories again. And I selected from from the first five videos that I bumped into some of my favorite clips that I am showing to you guys today. So these are motivational piece of advice, just inspiration for you, hope to hold on to, some tips and tricks, and I'm planning to do that with the other interviews on a later occasion. So I hope you guys enjoy.
I would have to run. It was the lowest of the low. I don't want to start crying thinking about it because I'm so happy now. But yeah, I just was ready because I would do anything. And I told you that I'm like, I don't care what it takes. Like, I'm so ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also remember in a dare video, I remember one of the girls were saying that like having DPDR and anxiety and panic is really, really hard, right? Like just having and living with it is really hard. Healing is also really, really hard. So like we have to pick what hard we want to do. Are we going to do like the crappy, just it's going to suck, it's going to hurt, but we're going to try to do it? Or are we going to just live in our fake bubble,
Mm-hmm.
which sucks too?
Yeah,
And so,
you described that perfectly.
oh my God. Yeah. And I think when I heard that, it was such a harsh reality of like, this is gonna suck either way. Like you're gonna be so upset and be, scared at home in your room. That's shitty. And then you can do like the healing work, which is also gonna be kind of shitty and it's gonna be very scary, but there's such a beautiful light at the end of that, where as opposed to the other end, the other, which is, feeling so scared and being in your bubble, there is no light. Unfortunately, there's no light at the end of that. It's just all, unfortunately, just darkness. And I was so ready to see that light that I was like, I'll do anything.
Mm-hmm.
um so that's, I think, when it began. I think that was the moment. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care, I'm just gonna do it. It's gonna suck, but guess what, I'm gonna have DPDR when I'm outside or I'm at home. So
That's
let's let's do this.
I remember the first intake session we had, and I knew, like, I think I even told you that, like, the session after, two sessions after that, I knew you were gonna recover because of your attitude. And
It wasn't.
it's so funny because I work with a lot of people, and people can do all the right things, but if it's the energy with which you do it, that's so important. And I remember like you had it for 6 years. So like you had every right to doubt yourself and to go like,
Yeah.
I'm
I
afraid
had
to.
no confidence. Zero confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember you saying like, I am just ready for this.
I'll
Like
do anything.
I'll
Yeah.
do anything. Like Robin, just tell me what to do. I'll do
Tell me, I was so desperate, like seriously. And I think that desperation of like, I'll do anything,
it.
it helps. Like seriously, when you're at your, like on your knees, I was like on my knees, like I will do anything, like just completely surrender.
So yeah, the I do feel like it was the obviously, like you said, it's so intense, but it was almost like perfectly designed for me
Yeah.
because I wouldn't have. There's no other thing that would have made me stop living like that. It would have had to have been something really serious, and obviously it was, and it felt like that at the time. But that basically now, at the time, I could only see that it was taken from me. I was like, this has taken everything from me. Like I'll never be myself again. Like and I just wanted that back so much. But what it really gave me was the opportunity to I'm still myself, like at the core of it, like I'm still me. And that's probably really important to say that as well, because I thought that I wouldn't ever be me again. And I was like really, really upset about that. But it gave me the chance to like rebuild a lifestyle and things that are now so much more, I don't know, they just make me feel so much more at peace. And like I have everything. I thought at that point that I had everything that I could have wanted, but like again, I was wrong. I'm so happy I was wrong, because now I have way more than I ever imagined possible. I feel like so much better than I ever felt. And it really has, I just have like every single day now, I have like, so I feel like I'm going to cry. I knew I was going to do this. I just have so much gratitude for like all the small things that didn't matter to me before. And even just for like the people in my life, and for like my happiness and my health, and like it's even like, you know, meeting you and stuff, like it's just changed my life. Like it's like I just thought this is taken from me, but like it's given me so much more than it ever took. Like I have, like I said, I have deeper connections with my friends, with my family. Like I have like so much more emotional awareness for myself, for other people. Um, I I can't even like, I just think like I got to a certain point and it all just clicked and it all made sense, and I know why it had to happen now. And I'm so grateful for it. I wouldn't change it. Like, and I don't, and I want people to, like, anyone that's going through like this right now, or like whatever stage that you're at, like I really do want to say, like, for whatever reason, like it's happening to you for a reason. I genuinely believe that. And I hope that, you know, there's a day that comes that you feel like that as well. And I'm sure there will be. Like, no matter how many times I thought that I wasn't going to be okay, I was wrong. And I'm great. Like I'm so happy, and I have like a much healthier lifestyle, and I have great people around me, and I have like so much more purpose in everything that I do, and I really see things totally different to what I've seen them before, in the best possible way. I used to ask, like when I was like really struggling, I would ask the universe, like, give me a sign, like just give me a sign that I'm doing the right thing, that like I'm on the right path, that like, you know. And I would see butterflies like every day, everywhere. It was always like a white butterfly. Like I would see, it was kind of that, because this is when I was starting to get better as well. So it was like kind of spring, summer, obviously like at the season for that. But I had, it felt, I was like, this is for sure like signs. And like even anything that seemed to be around, it would always happen to me. And I just felt like I held on to that metaphor so much throughout the process, and it was like so meaningful to me. And it's like, it's just really the best way to sum it up in like a kind of,
That's true.
metaphor, really. Like it was, for me, it was the most transformative process. And I'm so I'm just so glad. I'm so glad for all of it. Like I'm thankful for all of it, for every minute that I struggled, for every lesson that I learned, for everything that it's given me. And like that's why now everything that I see that's like a butterfly with a butterfly on it, I'm like, as if like that's me.
Like another turning point for me was kind of when I realized that this is a blessing in disguise. Like this is my brain just telling me, like, because through the past I had totally ignored it, going to the gym, totally kind of like play video games, trying to isolate myself from everyone.
Mhm.
That whole time I hadn't paid attention to my brain at all. So it took to this point for it to tell me almost like, hey, you need to really work on some of these issues. Like your thinking patterns are so backwards. Um, and when I started thinking like that, that's kind of when I started to recover.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you could picture right now that there's an audience sitting in front of you with people struggling with exactly what you struggled with, what would be some of the like tips you'd give them, or what would be some of your advice to the people that are struggling with what you were struggling with for the last, or like I guess for 2 years it was almost
Yeah.
into.
Yep. 2 years. I would say um that there's like a difference between running away and accepting. Um, I think it's very easy to like get that confused. Like and like that's certainly what happened to me. Um, my version of accepting at the time was kind of just making myself busy, but I wasn't accepting. I was still running away. Like you truly do have to sit with your thoughts and let them be there. And almost when you feel the symptoms of the DPDR, you feel the just angst that comes with it. You just have to smile at it and let it go away, because it always goes. It always goes away. It might come to you for 2 hours, but then after that, your body relaxes and then you're fine. You're fine. Um, but in the moment, it's very easy to forget about that. Um, Another thing is challenging your thoughts for sure. Like realize that your brain is giving you information on only what it perceives, and that's not what you perceive, because you're conscious, like consciously you understand that you're not in danger, but your brain doesn't think that. So you kind of just have to challenge uh, all the everything it's giving you. Um,
Yeah, not just go along with everything you're thinking.
yeah.
Great. Like, I guess being mindful, becoming mindful, and separating yourself from your thoughts.
And that we are the feeling of being afraid of something happening is so much bigger than the thing itself. You know, like
Yes.
anxiety is a lot like holding something. You don't want that you feel like it's gonna fall at any time.
Yeah.
It's like, and if you let that fall, if you let it happen, you're gonna realize that it's not as big as you think. So feeling that feeling, and I started really small. I started with just turning my water in my shower cold in the last 10 seconds and being there the as long as I could. This was like a life changer that I did, because I started because when I got inside the water of the shower, I realized how panicked my body was, and I realized how dumb, like not dumb, but like how like silly that was. Like nothing is happening, my body's panicking because he thinks something is happening because the environment changes. So I'm like, it's really cold, it's really cold, my body's panicking, and then I'm like, no, it's fine, it's fine. And then you kind of realize that that happens a lot in life. Your body tries to protect you in a lot of situations that are just that are under your control. So when I did that, when I started doing the cold shower thing, uh, was when I started like to learn, okay, my body responds in a way that is not always, not does not always means that things are bad in the outside, you know. And the thing, another thing that really helped me that has to do with this was like learning that the opposite of anxiety isn't calm, it's trust. That was like one of the main things, because like when you try to calm yourself down, you don't trust. If you, because you're gonna keep questioning. If you just try to calm yourself down, if you're like, oh, is life good, wait, I'm gonna think life is good. No, you have to be like, I trust life is good. I know that, I know that, I trust it. And because you, like, I had these moments where I just kept thinking for hours and hours, and then I got to a conclusion and I was like, yes, okay, life is good, I'm fine, I'm great. And then the other day I was like, what, how did I get there? And then I had to think for hours again. Like, you have to believe that that is inside your heart, and trust. You know, I just tell myself every time that I get anxious, trust, trust, trust.
It's funny because like when I was like going through like even DPDR symptoms and stuff, like I was so focused on like, you know, what can I do to like not feel these things? Like I don't want to feel these things. And how I ended up like not feeling like that anymore was just like allowing myself to feel everything, like allowing myself to feel disconnected. And I would just like kind of go through my day being like, okay, like I feel disconnected, like whatever, like what, like I can't do anything about it right now. Like I'm just, I guess I'm gonna feel disconnected today. And like it took me a lot to get there, but like you feel like after that, you almost feel like you're kind of like untouchable because you're like, I can experience like, you know, weird symptoms and I can experience all these like super scary emotions. But like when you allow yourself to accept it, your brain kind of realizes like, okay, like we actually are allowed to like be here and feel these things. Like they're not really
Yeah.
that scary. So
Mhm.
that was like a huge help. And like I'm still doing that now. Like as I like before we started, like I still have points where I'm like, you know, like I feel really panicky, but like I'm really good at like being like, you know, it's okay. Like I guess I feel anxious today and I'm just gonna keep on going with my day and like I guess I just feel anxious. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
it's very interesting, and because I think when we think about recovery, biggest mistake that we make is thinking that recovery means absence of uncomfortable feelings or absence of discomfort. Rather, that's lack of like absence of thinking or absence of fear. But the goal of recovery is to be resilient to discomfort. That, you know, if you feel fear, that you can feel it. That if you have a negative thought, again, that you understand that it comes from a negative feeling and that you will feel resilient enough to feel that lack of control or to feel that fear in your body. So it's interesting because you said that right before I started recording. When I asked you how you were, you said, you know, that sometimes, yeah, you do still struggle, which is human. Everyone does. I still do.
Hmm.
But to feel confident in knowing that you can handle it, that that confidence allows you to actually let the emotions flow, because emotions are literally sort of energy in motion. When it
Hmm.
passes, it goes, and then you don't sit with it so long. So I'm really
Hmm.
happy to say that it's not like just for you about being completely in lack of discomfort, but just really feeling like you can handle it if it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that like also like just like realizing that like you taught me like so much about like instead of like addressing, like I feel like when we had sessions, instead of like addressing like, you know, each individual thing, like being like, okay, like what is this one thought, like we kind of like always just talked about the core of it, just like being like fear. And
Mhm.
like I see that now in like so many other like parts in my life where like I think it's like really uncovering like, you know, like where I struggle as a person is where like I really struggle with like the unknown. So like even like going back, like I used to have really bad like health anxiety where like anytime I had a symptom, like, you know, I had to know for sure that like I wasn't gonna like die or something. And like although that's very different from DPDR, it like all just centers around this like, you know, like this ego of like being like, I need to know 100%. And I think that that's where like a lot of like the panic comes from with like existential thoughts and stuff is like our thought in our head where like we're thinking like, oh, I need to know 100%. And like because like we never will, that like makes us panic a lot. So I think like it's just, yeah, it's weird to say, but like I'm actually in a way better place, like having gone through all of that, as scary as it was, than like I think I was before I even had DPDR. Like I think before, like, you know, like I would always say when I was in DPDR, I'd be like, oh, like I wish I could just go back to like not like being so oblivious to life and like not knowing anything and like, you know, not even thinking about existence. Like, why did I have to like think about this? Like I miss my old life. Like I literally felt like I transformed like from one life to another. Like I just like crossed this like barrier and now I'm in this like weird stage of life. But like I feel like after DPDR, you cross like another barrier and it's just like you're so like free and you feel so like strong in ways that like you never would have really felt if you didn't have to like you know, like really work on like, you know, these core like things that were like causing even things before.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like I said in the beginning, I'll be making another video with other recovery stories and kind of making a little compilation because I really like this type of format. So yeah, hope to see you guys next week. Have a beautiful day and talk to you guys soon. Mwah. Bye.